Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. The Rangers beat the Detroit Red Wings 5-2. So they take both games of the home and home, and it's Artemi Panarin who gets a hat trick. It's actually a 4-point night for him. A lot of the damage done on the power play, but just an already ridiculous start to the season for Panarin. That's 4 straight multi-point games to start the season and 11 points in 4 games, 5 goals and 6 assists. Just again, like this guy is in regular season terms, right? Taking the postseason aside, is as good as they come. I mean, really, what he's done with the Rangers, and now what is the beginning of what is this? The 5th season as a Ranger? It's crazy. There's actually more than that now. It's actually a 6th season. It's crazy how time flies, right? Because his first year was 1920, and so yeah, this is the beginning of his 6th season. Yeah, really, for Panarin, he has just been unbelievable, and it's not just like the points are one thing, but just watching him on the ice, there's just you could tell. I mean, I have to think if you are an opposing team and you watch him, it's like, what are you supposed to do exactly when you give him time and space? And that's the thing. In the regular season, he's going to have that more available to him than he does in the playoffs, right? That's why against like Florida, like in the last year, it kind of breaks down on him a little bit. But just like 95 points in 69 games in the first year, 58 points in 42 the next, 96 and 75, 92 and 82, 120 82, now 11 and 4. It's just like gaudy numbers for Artemi Panarin. And so he gets a hat trick and an assist, like I said. Vincent Trocheck as well, who is his line mate and also power play partner, if you will, as well. He gets a goal and 3 assists. And then Adam Fox, he gets 3 assists as well. So the 3 of them, those are the big statistical offensive catalysts. And Jonathan Quick, he makes his first start of the season. Looked pretty good, Jonathan Quick, actually, who kind of little bit unsung in this game because the Rangers kind of really kind of break it open big time in the second period. Rangers did not get off to a good start. Red Wings had some power plays, and that's where Quick was at his best. Quick ends up making 29 saves on 31 shots, so a really good start for him, right? Quick, he's getting older and older, but you wouldn't know it based on how he's been as a Ranger, so that's encouraging as well. Again, this made sense for him to make this start, made complete and total sense. And Victor Mancini gets his first goal as an NHLer. And the cool thing about this, and if you remember, he had a goal disallowed in the home opener, but that would have been cool. But what's probably even like more cool for him is the fact that he gets the goal in his hometown of Michigan. So I'm not sure if he grew up a Red Wing fan. I would think that's certainly possible. So that must have meant a lot to him to happen to do it in Detroit is pretty special. And really, for me, there's no rush to get Ryan Lindgren back in there. It seems like he's very close. And in fact, I almost tend to think that like after the next Ranger loss or thereabouts, like he'll be back in there. But again, like kind of like what we're seeing here. And I think Mancini is going to be the odd man out, but he doesn't deserve it. And look, there was a mess up like that Mancini had on the second Red Wing goal at the end. He kind of falls asleep a little bit and leaves this guy open in front and they score. But really, I think for a rookie and as young as he is, I really have been very impressed by him. So, Zach Jones, I think there's always the chance that, he could leave the lineup, but I don't think that that's the move. I think I like what he brings to the table as well. Again, if it were me, Jacob Trouba would be the one that would be more in question, but we know that's never going to happen. And so, I think that it's been a good start for the Rangers at 3-0-1. It hasn't been perfect by any means. And I guess and the competition of play has not been anything overwhelming. But look, the fact of the matter is Detroit was a bubble team last year. Pittsburgh, I wouldn't say the Rangers have been playing bad teams, but it hasn't been exactly like Toronto. That is your first real big test on Saturday. They're 3-1, 3-game winning streak. That is a surefire playoff team, if nothing else. And so that will be the toughest test to date on paper. But as far as the lineup was concerned, it was the same as last game, meaning Brodzinski back in there. Like I said, if Rempe is to play, it's more likely to be at home. I think when Jimmy Vesey comes back, all indications would be that Matt Rempe would be sent down, right? Like that would make most sense. In fact, to me, I think that should be happening sooner than later, unless you want to get him in there. If you want to get him in there, then that's one thing. And I think he would replace Brodzinski. At this point, I think Carrick is locked into that fourth line center spot. And I like what Adam Edstrom's done. And I think the coaching staff sees that too. Not that Brodzinski's been poor, but I think that it's going to be a little bit interchanging between the two. But again, like I feel like versus Toronto, I don't know. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they do get Rempe in there. But again, your guess is as good as mine as far as that goes, because, you know, I'm sure they want to play him because, again, a young player just taking healthy scratches like that is not good for his development. So either play him or send him to Hartford. That's just what I think. And then as far as the Lindgren thing, like, I don't think he comes back versus Toronto, but it seems like it's going to be soon. And it's just too bad that I think in some ways it might make the lineup worse because Miller-Fox is a really nice pair. Miller needs to cut down on the turnovers. That's the thing. Keandre Miller, and it led to the first Red Wing goal. That's still a problem. But overall, Miller-Fox is a really nice pair. Jones Mancini, for the youth and sort of inexperience they have at the NHL level, they've done a nice job. Schneider Truba, fine. I mean, it's not a pair I necessarily see working in the long run for a number of reasons. But for now, based on what you got, it's okay. But yeah, Rangers really with a pretty dominant performance after a slow start in the first period. I will say, with the Yankee game happening around the same time, the Ranger game was this is a game where I probably will not be providing as much comprehensive detail as I would be in other games, and many reasons for that. I mean, the Rangers jumping out to a eventual early, kind of a somewhat like halfway through the game 5-1 lead kind of plays into that as well. If the game was closer, I think it would have been a little bit different. But did my best to follow as much as I could. And so, yeah, Eric Gustafsson does play this game as I suspected he would, and he was not great. He took a couple of penalties. I don't think he's the favorite of Detroit fans in the early going, but that's here nor there. Look, Gustafsson was a pretty good Ranger. I just think for him, it made sense to go in the. I mean, for financial reasons and just development of Zach Jones, it made sense to go in a different direction. The one thing for Gustafsson is I wish that he would have been more of a healthy scratch consideration come playoff time. And I wish, again, like I know Jones doesn't have the size, but I think that he gives you more of a potent offensive element than Gustafsson does. Like Jones just a little bit smoother, a little bit of a better skater. And I just like the way that, that first pass is good, is just a little bit better vision. But again, that's just me. So the Rangers had shoot the Red Wings 34-31 in this game. Like I said, Detroit had their best chance in the first period. Cam Talbot, the former Ranger, was in net for the Red Wings, and it was not a great night for Cam Talbot. He would be pulled after that fifth goal by Victor Mancini, and Alex Lyon, who was in net at Madison Square Garden, he would come in to replace him and did the job, but the game was already over at that point. So let's see here. Vincent, it starts out, like I said, with a couple of penalties for the Rangers that puts them in a situation where it's 5-on-3 Detroit. 4:07 Trocheck trips Dylan Larkin. Then at 5:25 during the power play, Fox slashes Larkin. So you get a little bit of a 5-on-3. Red Wings just could not score, whether that be Quick making the stop, whether that be self-inflicted wounds by Detroit not just being able to bury a puck. And the Rangers kill both off. And then soon thereafter, at 8:30, the Panarin line scores. It's Panarin's third goal from Trocheck and Lafreniere. Nice job by Lafreniere to cause the turnover in the offensive zone, gets it to Trocheck, who finds Panarin, and kind of a cross-ice pass, wrist shot by Panarin past Talbot to give the Rangers a 1-0 lead. Then the Rangers draw their first power play, and it's Lafreniere who's tripped by DeBrincat at 15:28. Lafreniere, again, it's little things, but he just looks as good as ever. He looks, like I said with Panarin, where it's the eye test, like with Lafreniere, just so confident. And the Rangers power play scores off the faceoff. It's Panarin's second of the night, fourth of the season, assisted by Fox and Trocheck. It ends up being a Panarin snapshot from kind of far out, but it was well placed, and it gives the Rangers a 2-0 lead. They would take that to the second period. And early on, Detroit scores. Mo Seider, the defenseman, scores his first goal of the season from Confer and Raymond. This was a play where Keandre Miller was unable to get the puck out of the zone, but also it was, I think, Trocheck and Lafreniere that kind of are a little too aggressive and maybe could have helped Keandre out a little bit more. So it's kind of all of them. And that's the thing. And I've said it a lot so far this season, is that Panarin line is the offensive catalyst for this team by far. But they need to clean things up defensively. They do, like, no question. And it does lead to a goal by Seider. Again, bad turnover by Keandre. Makes it 2-1 at 1:27 of the second period. Then at 7:59, Berggren holds Riley Smith. And this leads to a Ranger power play goal. It's Vincent Trocheck, his second goal of the season from Panarin and Fox. This was a play where Panarin takes the shot from up top. A good tip in by Trocheck in the slot. And nothing that Talbot can do. It's 3-1 Rangers there. And then the Red Wings take another penalty. It's Eric Gustafsson high-sticking Johnny Brodzinski at 10:46. And the Rangers would score another power play goal, their third power play goal of the game. They were essentially 3 for 3 because the one power play that was unsuccessful later in the game ends up being nullified, if you will, by a Ranger penalty. So when they had the full minutes available to them and the game was kind of on the line, they scored. And so Panarin gets the hat trick on a one-time slap shot goal from Fox and Trocheck. So Panarin's 5th goal of the season, he gets the hat trick. It's his 4th point of the night. And Talbot just a little bit slow going from side to side, but also a very nice, quick slap shot by Panarin makes it 4-1 Rangers. And then less than 40 seconds after, while the Hedl line's on the ice, and I really like the Hedl line's been good. If Hedl can stay healthy, that Cooley, Hedl, Kakko line, good offensive possession. There's potential for goal scoring, but Mancini scores his first NHL goal. And like I said, he's from Michigan. Must have been really awesome for him. Took a shot from the point. Cooley was kind of causing some disturbances in front, but Talbot was pulled from the game after this goal. Mancini from Kakko and Hedl at 12:20 gives the Rangers a 5-1 lead. And then at 14:04, you get incidental minors on Kakko and Christian Fischer. Nothing comes to that in the way of goal scoring. We go to the third period. Rangers in a comfortable lead. At 2:47, again, matching minors to Ben Sherratt and Sam Carrick. At 7:01, Kakko, Kakko trips to Brinket at 7:01. Rangers kill that off. Then at 14:26, Gustafsson takes another penalty, high sticks Adam Edstrom. And then the power play ends when Kakko is called for goalie interference on Alex Lyon. After that Gustafsson penalty expires, Detroit has a little bit of a short power play, and they score on it. JT Comp for a second goal of the season from Sherratt and Gustafsson. Again, Mancini kind of leaves Comp for alone in front. He scores past quick, makes it 5-2 Rangers. There'd be one last penalty at the end, 1934, Braden Schneider called for delay of game. Nothing comes of that. Rangers win at 5-2. So again, Panarin, 3 goals and an assist. Trocheck a goal and 3 assists. Fox with 3 assists. Victor Mancini gets his first NHL goal. And Jonathan Quick in his first start of the season makes 29 saves on 31 shots. And the Rangers take both games of the home and home against the Detroit Red Wings. They improved to 3-0. And now the road trip will continue with a date with the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday night.